The plan for the lakefront, as we expressed it, it was a policy plan update. It was not meant to be anything any more than policy-oriented fundamentals. That assignment came out of the effort to resolve the problem at Jackson Park. It was because of the Jackson Park that we were asked to do the update of the whole lakefront. The debate was about how much development should go directly along the shore. It was human interest in probably high-rise development, and the idea on the other side saying nobody should touch the shore again ever. In the process of debating this, the mayor came on the scene, knowing some of the conversation going on, and he said this way: the lakefront is for the people of Chicago, and it should be forever open, free, and clear. Those were literally his terms. And the policy then was very simply stated on this end. He didn't deny the need for high-rise development someday coming, but he described basically where it probably ought to go, and that is behind the lakefront. It was about 5 years of work over periodic pieces that were delivered now and again with the fundamental principles. If you could sum them up in a couple of basics, there are two that were primary. One was shoreline continuity, that wherever there was a gap, extra effort would be made to plug that gap with ownership or some kind of responsible attention in accordance with the standards to keep it a park, that it would not be interrupted in terms of movement of pedestrians or bikes along the shore. It would be as connected from top to bottom as possible, 27 miles. And there were a lot of gaps. I think over time that was a key focus of a lot of work. The second principle was that at the east-west movement of cars and people, this is everyone would hit the lake. We call them street-end arrival parks. That at every major arterial street in Chicago, in that 27 miles, there would be attention to how it arrived at the shoreline. Not always the same, but given conditions, you would arrive with some kind of celebration or exposure or visual delight, enjoying the water. And there were many obstructions to street end parks at that time. The implication of those two principles was that if there was to be high density development, high density meaning 50 and 60-story buildings, which were known to be coming, that they should be behind that zone of what we called shoreline priorities, so that the continuity would be protected and the street end arrivals would be prime. And you can see the Illinois Central air rights chock full now of many, many high-rise structures, none of which are on the water. It was a fundamental. They would have liked to have been on the water, as we can see in other parts of the country and Great Lakes, any shoreline values like that. Those two things were key. I think the meaning to us as a young firm, and me being pretty young at that time, was that being in early, prior to some of these things happening, particularly the Illinois Central air rights. I don't recall the exact acreage. I think it was in excess of 100 acres of air rights. That was center city acres, measured by inches in value. Huge. And we were in early enough to have some input into how that was the beginning negotiations with developers who were standing in the line ready to build like mad in that area, and they had to comply with some of these standards. We were in early, and I love it.